exactly where you want to be.
Speaking of Cassie, let's check out the champion draft and see which way she's going to go. But the big question is Black Dragons, they have first pick. Do they grab Eevee here?
Well, it's going to be Makoa that has hovered over. I'd say that Eevee would be a good opener, but Matchpoint, they'll just lock in maybe a Makoa and Ruckus as well. So they're going to take that completely away from Matchpoint. And I love that the opening dynamic that Makoa gives Black Dragons. If they confirm a good dredge anchor, you really have the opportunity to capitalize on that and maybe make it a 5v4 in your favor versus one of the best teams in the world, at least according to their Twitter posts.
Cassie and Fernando are going to be drafted for Matchpoint, which to me says, hey, pick Eevee. We'll play against it. Now, maybe this is just, you know, bravado, right? Maybe they're like, all right, we've seen your Eevee is good. We want to give you your best so we can play you at your best. That's sort of the feeling that I want to see out of Matchpoint, right? Because they are big names. They've got great players, and I think they want the most competitive match they can get.
Absolutely. So Eevee will be locked in by Black Dragons, likely going over to Skullist. Again, Charlene picked up as well, so banking on having almost sniper damage. Not quite kinetic because Charlene is projectile-based, but a lot of long line of sight direct for Black Dragons. Matchpoint, they're getting close to the end of this picking phase. They're going to lock in 2 more champions very quickly. Grover is hovered. Will we see it again? Ruckus is ready. It will be the Grover locked in for the 2nd game in a row, although going to a different team this time around.
Black Dragons have the remaining 2 picks, but I'm wondering about Matchpoint. Are they going to run big bodies like Black Dragon just did? It worked really well for the Eevee, and I can see it working even better for the Cassie, who's so mobile. But we're going to see Ying and Barrack picked up for Black Dragons. And honestly, this is a fairly standard composition. All 4 tanks are going to be played. Eevee for Skullist, Shaolin for pings, and Ying is just a great healer. So really, it's on Matchpoint to spice things up a little. They've got the Grover, but maybe they're going to go extra caliente.
Well, I feel like they need some sort of AoE clear at this point. You've got Barrack and Ying, who are double deployables. That's going to hurt Grover a lot because they won't get that bonus damage from distance with their axe throw onto turrets and onto illusions. Drogoz is hovered, and Drogoz is locked in, rising again from the ashes to the most recent patch to be utilized with their Fire Spit for that AoE clear.
Drogoz the Greedy picked up by Matchpoint for the first time this tournament, and I think Greedy is perfect here. Stolzy, you can see him hold up the NA flag representing the US of A. Matchpoint, your North American first seed coming into the Paladins Invitational. And like I said earlier, man, I think they just want to size up Black Dragons. How good are they?
They want to test the waters, although Grover is a bit of a stylish pick going into that. I do have some inside info on the Grover, though. I've been hearing from a lot of teams behind the scenes that they're starting to look to run Grover a lot more than Ying right now. Because when Cauterize comes online, it starts to get more difficult. That burst heal behind shields, when the effects of Cauterize have run out, can be a bit more valuable than a very slow sustained trickle versus Cauterize 3. But it's the Drogoz pick, which I think will make or break Matchpoint here. Will the AoE clear be enough versus double deployables, and will maybe the Makoa come into play and try and pull them out of the skies?
Yeah, no, Makoa doesn't really have the best targets to go for. Cassie's good, Drogoz is good, but I don't think he's got anyone he's super directly countering like he would with an Eevee. But we'll see as we head into the match. Black Dragons on the left side of your screen. Maldamba played by Flamzito. Skullist, Eevee for the 4th game in a row. Butter playing Barrack. Pings on that Shaolin, and Bizka on Makoa.
Their opponents, you know them, you love them. They're the North American family favorite. Stolzy leads the charge on Cassie, followed up by Wardoom on Fernando. Dozups brings Ruckus to the table. Smidgen on Grover, and Cuss Cutie eyes the skies as Drogo's a bit of a switch up there, as Cuss is normally the primary support player, but immediately First Blood goes through to Wardoom, and Smidgen picks up Flame Zero as well. Skullers can return 1, but they're stuck in Ice Block, and they are shut down. Matchpoint sweep the board almost entirely and take 33% and rising on the first objective of this game 1.
Was that 4v5? I saw Stolzy go to the point. Was he even there?
I don't know at this point.
I mean, man, like, just the absolutely dynamite play from Matchpoint, asserting their dominance immediately. And now, you know, Black Dragons, they have to respond. They have to put up a fight here, but I think it's going to be very difficult with the way Matchpoint is already playing.
As mentioned, very low on HP as Grovo. Oh, almost about to get shut down. Gets that burst heal off and will stay alive. Dozup's frontlining with Ruckus. Will clean up Makara in combination with Stolzy, and the kills just keep on coming through for the team in red. Stolzy picks up the delayed double kill, and now look at Wardoom's positioning, playing the frontline of Fernando, getting ready to force enemies of Black Dragons back inside their spawn as the payload will advance.
I love the way Cuss is laying down that suppressing fire to keep Black Dragons up there and in that vantage point, just sort of blocked in, but Cuss will fall. Stolzy, though, he's going to fall as well. Skullis could create an opportunity for Black Dragons to hold it right here.
Skullis did have to retreat right there, but no, they come straight back in. 2 down already. Skullis looking to turn their sights on the Ruckus, who's still trying to backdoor the payload. They will pick up Dozups. No, Pings gets them with Shaolin, and Black Dragons have made their stand versus the overwhelming force that is Matchpoint and hold strong. 1 minute and 26 seconds left on the payload push.
Skullis does fall, though, outflanked and completely taken down by Matchpoint, who do know how to deal with Eevee. Up in the air is Drogoz, getting that height advantage to aim down, and as the Hexafire comes through, Black Dragons are all pushed back.
And they're looking for somebody, anybody. Dozups tries to find damage. Skullis is actually contesting an ice block behind, though. Misses out so much of that damage and has bought time for their team's respawns to come back through, but meanwhile, Stolzy is sitting up above the spawn, just contesting, just pushing players back. Barrack tries to rocket boots in. It's on contest, but Stolzy takes down Shaolin. Double kill for Stolzy, the playmaker, and he pushes the payload through to conversion. 2-0 for Matchpoint.
That's right, 2-0 for Matchpoint is going to be a great way to start off the series. And that's exactly what they want. They have tested Black Dragons, and I think they are going to feel confident moving forward. I mean, just from that first fight, man, it was so brutal.
And what seemed to happen is that Matchpoint go, okay, we're going to test the waters here. We're going to see how hard we can push and see if Black Dragons bend or break. And Black Dragons didn't withdraw as they needed to. When Matchpoint comes at you with a hammer, you've got to either get out of the way or you've got to kind of pull back and then springboard directly back into them to kind of meet force with force. And I just don't think they appear to have the coordination to be able to do that.
Yeah, man, I don't know, maybe. I think Black Dragons is capable of going head-to-head with Matchpoint, but they've got to use their strengths. And I think it's Skullis. He's the real deal, man. He's finding kills in what I think otherwise would be a very difficult match. And I love the way he's doing that. So they got to leverage his raw skill in this set.
Not just the kills, though, which Skullis was finding. Objective contest was very important just to slow down that last payload push, but it wasn't quite enough. Now, as we will be transitioning shortly through to the second round of the game, Matchpoint up 2 points to 0 currently. Black Dragons need to find a way back in.
That's right. So Black Dragons, man, what are they looking for here? You know, you mentioned Grover is pretty good against Cauterize because you wait for the debuff to fall off and then you use your healing. We did have to remake this game, so it is going to start again 0-0. Black Dragons on the blue team, Flamzito, Butter, Skullis, Pings, and Bizka playing the exact same picks on the exact same map.
And of course, Matchpoint, you've already heard their names once today. They'll be playing with Dozups on Ruckus, Stolzy on Cassie, Smidgen on Grover, Cuss Cutie on that Drogoz, Wardoom rounding things out on Fernando. And, well, Matchpoint, they're taking the exact same path they did before, but Black Dragons were waiting for them this time.
That's right, and Black Dragons are trying to hold the front line. Skullis does find a kill onto Stolzy, which I was not expecting, but I also wasn't expecting Smidgen to pick up too. Skullis is still in this fight, but he's one of the only players there, and I think he's just going to go down facing a 1v4.
Skullis just has to get out of the area at this point, wait for the respawns of Black Dragons to come through, and then look to re-engage, but Stolzy's looking to make that difficult. Where's Cuss Cutie? Already zoning into the enemy spawn. Cuss, they've all run straight past you, and a skirmish is breaking out around the right side, perspectively, of the Serpent Beach map.
And watch Stolzy here just hitting shot after shot as he finds good positioning behind his front line. Pings is trying to get some shots in, but he can't find the kill. Stolzy will fall, though, as Flamzito comes around the left side, and Black Dragons move into the point. 96% for Matchpoint, so they have to stay aggressive.
We're in overtime. We're in Grover time. Dozups, though, has a double kill, and that will be Matchpoint taking the first capture objective of this game. Oh,
wow.
Cuss Cutie following up a rocket direct direct impact with a fire spit opens things up, and the payload push will begin here.
And that's the mechanics we expect to see from Matchpoint, because he did get caught out, did not hear the footsteps around the side, and he will die in that 1v2 as Flamzito opened up with the stun.
But speaking of opening up, Stolzy has got round behind everybody as Cassie. Grover goes up, Grover goes down, and Skullis gets taken out by Dozups, keeping the Cassie carry of Stolzy alive for the time being. Payload over halfway, pushed at 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. This is another great look for Matchpoint. Black Dragons, they've got a mounted defense here.
Yeah, but they might not be able to as Pings goes down. Dozups finds Bizka as well. Stolzy is low. He finds a critical shot onto Skullis, who is very low health inside that ice block, and does fall to Smidgen with a well-timed axe. Now Dozups, he's going to get this kill on Flamzito. The question is when, and jumping onto that rock will give him the vantage point that he needs. Matchpoint is so close to converting and giving another 2-0 lead.
Hexafire has been popped by Dozups. He pulls through a triple kill. Dragon Punch Channel 2. He's coming in. Drogo's looking for the EV and Ice Block, but it doesn't matter. Dozups, delayed quadra kill right there. Pushes through the conversion. Matchpoint 2-0 on the scoreboard.
And yet again, we see a ruckus on top of net worth. He's doing so much damage, he's getting so many kills, and he's standing on the objective. Frontliners gain more credits for standing on the point, and Dozups is going to convert that into Wrecker 2, which is going to allow him to absolutely cut through the shields from Makoa and Barrick, which are weaker than Fernando's.
They certainly are, and Cuss Cutie as well with Wrecker 2, dealing massive damage per rocket. Impact is going to be huge. Take a look at the healing stat on screen for the time being, however, and you can see that Smidgen currently on Grover is well leading those charts. But enough of that, back to the objective. Dozups making a beeline for the capture, but runs straight past it. There's a backline assassination going, and it's not looking good for Black Dragons.
Matchpoint clearly prioritizing the high ground, and Cuss is clearly prioritizing this Makoa, but he's going to find himself in a bad spot with a great stun. Flamzito has excellent aim on that Maldamba, and he will prove it as he does damage to Smidgen. An excellent Dread Serpent will help clean up those kills, but it looks like Skullis is not able to confirm them just yet, and we actually have a player pause coming in by Stolzy.
Look at that picture perfect on screen. Smidgen about to be assassinated, and Skullis starting to find the picks, which they really need to get this ball rolling. We've seen Stolzy picked off several times, but Smidgen is yet to die. Wardoom is yet to die for Matchpoint, as well as Dozups. These tanks, these frontliners are just staying alive, and there seems to be nobody that can do any more than just tickle them from the side of Black Dragons.
You know, real quick, I wanna congratulate you on a point well made earlier. You mentioned EVs go up and come down to guarantee those shots, and that's exactly what we saw Skullis doing as that pause hit. So he's going to drop, and he, in all likelihood, is going to get that kill on the Smidgen, who I think is, you know, waiting in fear. I think he knows what's going to happen here.
I got to ask you, you're a designer. Can we get an Eevee Apple skin at all? You know, like Gravity dropping? The EVs do a lot of that. You
know, maybe an Apple gun. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll talk to the boys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Fantastic. Right now on your screens, we do have the players of Matchpoint just working through a technical issue whilst we do get ourselves back into the game. Matchpoint looking very strong, coming off of a 2-0 conversion. Black Dragons have an opportunity here to capitalize once they do take down Smidgen. And you've only got a couple of frontliners left. Who are you looking to make the pick onto here?
Man, I don't know. I don't think you can pick off Ruckus. Like, I don't know if that's physically possible. He does have relatively small health for a frontliner, but Ruckus has been so strong in this tournament so far, and let's see what he can do.
Oh, hello. He's come back into game, and oh my goodness, Pings from Black Dragons is about to be taken down. The respawn from Stolzy seems to have saved everyone from Matchpoint, but 50% on cap gain for Black Dragons. They've taken an advantage and a lead here, and if they can get out of base without being dismounted and without being zoned out too hard by Matchpoint, I can see them really bring themselves back into this fight.
Speaking of zoning, an excellent fire spit shot is going to drop Barrick a little low. He is by far the squishiest tank and has a lot of trouble getting into position. Pings out of position will fall. This Makoa in trouble as well, but he knows he has to make it to the capture point, and he knows he's not going to be able to make it there. 96%. and it looks like Matchpoint will take this one.
Oh, as well, Smidgen there, saved on Grover by Stolzy, the Cassie carry coming back through, and you're sitting at a, oh, Maldama, that's not quite where you want to be there. Impaler arrow to Cutie could pull up a kill, but check out the defensive play from Wardoom's Fernando that came straight up, excuse me. We're looking at Wardoom just popping the shield and keeping his team safe after that Impale hit.
That's right, Wardoom is a very strong defensive player, but Stolzy is a very strong aggressive player, rolling out of position. An excellent blast shot, burst onto Skull. He is pulled, but he is not killed as his support, Smidgen, will heal him up just in time. Barrack waiting in this room. He actually might get away with it.
He's been spotted out now. Barricade has gone down, running around the outside. Stolzy prioritizes turrets and Dozups takes down Butter. And you mentioned time. Time is now of the essence for Black Dragons, who are looking down the barrel of a 4-0 sweep in game one of this best-of-5 set versus Matchpoint. They've got a amount of defense here. The Ice Storm has gone down. We've seen one kill capitalized as Smidgen does fall on Grover. No more healing for Matchpoint, and they are starting to fall. But where's Wardoom? He's in the back of this fight, just disrupting and buying time for his team, but will be forced to retreat here, and Black Dragons have pulled some of the pressure away from themselves.
Did you see it? For a moment there was an opening in Matchpoint's formation. There was an opening in their defenses, and the moment they were vulnerable, Black Dragons pounced and capitalized. It was an amazing punish, and they might be able to hold here to look for the 3-1, but that will be a difficult road to recovery.
Oh
Ruckus
no,
with the
especially
Hexifier.
as you said, Ruckus round the corner, drops the damage from the ultimate, but Butter with a double kill so far on the Barrack, tries to lock things down. Dragon Punch comes in from Cutie. Your sight fails you, no! Cuss flies straight through that heat haze, double kill for the Drogos player in the skies, trying to find the triple. Ancient Rage now used safely by Makoa, because it is not that Dragon Punch counter ultimate, but they're getting blasted down, whittled down, ripped and torn through by Ruckus, and are forced to retreat as Matchpoint just advance unstoppable.
Man, watch the way Dozups is tracking. He is all about the heads. This headhunter is pushing forward with the payload cart, will find the kill onto Pings. And I'm confused here, right? This Ruckus is so impactful.
I feel like at this point we've had Smidgen on Grover do as much work as some of the carries have as well. Whirlwind comes out in response to Dome Shield, double kill for Dozups again, taken down the last second. We're in overtime right now. Matchpoint might be held at bay. Disengage is good, but the conversion push isn't coming through. Makoa does fall. Stolzy and Cutie clean up. Can they hold here? All Black Dragons secure it. Pings takes down Stolzy, Cuss being forced out, and we are looking at a really long overtime.
It is incredibly long, but the Ruckus is back. Fernando there to hold the front line on Wardoom while Grover's healing up. Dozups gets the triple. He's looking for more and cannot quite get the quadra.
It's gonna be up in the sky, delayed quadra in mid shield comes out. It's a double kill after a triple kill, delayed pentakill, and Matchpoint pushed through. 4-0 conversion, game one, GG.
The moment you doubt Dozups, he goes in huge. This Ruckus is unstoppable because it's just all aim, right? He's like, okay, where's the right spot for me to stand? I'm standing in the right spot. Check that off the list. Then he just aims and he just kills.
That's it?
Yeah,
you press your buttons on cooldown. It's Q, E, right click. Yeah, we're fine. Here we go.
Yeah, that's right. And then it's just aim, and he's hitting heads non-stop. Excellent play from Dozups, maximizing the DPS on that Ruckus and turning what is a frontline tank into possibly the scariest damage dealer on this team.
Well, you did mention earlier, is Dozups the carry? Well, I think we've got to say yes, because Dozups is famed for two champions specifically on Matchpoint, now playing a lot more Ruckus, which he started to play as we have seen that brought back into the meta, but he's played a lot of Cassie at a very high level, as well as a lot of Bomb King, and has been the primary carry for his team, despite Stolzy's grandeur maybe overshadowing that at times for a long, long time. But we are now back with the scoreboard. Matchpoint dominating 4-0 victory. What do the stats tell us, Kret?
Man, I think it's Dozups dominating. 41 eliminations, 59,000 damage. He had some shielding there too. That's nice. Top objective time in the game. The dude is just standing on the point, standing on the payload, and shooting all the dudes. And the problem for Black Dragons, who I think the way they're playing, they are actually a good match for Matchpoint, right? They're very skilled players, but Their best player is Skullist. We've seen that. And Eevee can't deal with Ruckus.
No, she can't. She's not the best player to deal with him. And if you're playing an Eevee and you're going for the assassination playstyle, then you're not going to be going into necessarily Wrecker to try and have that bonus damage to shields to maybe assassinate a Ruckus. You're going to be looking for Cauterize or damage reduction because Eevee has a low HP pool, and that's not where it's best utilized. And I do actually feel like maybe it was the draft which Black Dragons had slipped on slightly here, letting that very tanky frontline through of Ruckus and Fernando, supplemented by Grover. I just felt like Black Dragons needed more damage on somebody, and it's got to come from one of their frontliners here. But Barrack just can't do that if their turrets aren't established. And Makoa, well, they rely on their dredge anchor so much.
You know, it's still so crazy to me, right? You see Makoa such a strong early pick, Fernando a strong early pick, but the Ruckus is the one that's carrying the game. So much impact coming in from Doseups. Really just cannot say enough about that. I do think Skullist could deal with him if he focused on it. But then Stolzy's going to carry.
Right, and you've got to shut down that Gassy, because if you don't keep a lid on them, they will go off like a pot full of popcorn and blast you off to space. But another stat which we can pay attention to here is let's have a look at the healing done by both teams. Maldamba, reputed to be the best healer in-game by a lot of competitive players, sitting at 12,000 healing. Smidgen on Grover, who was bottom of the pile for a very long time at 42,000, actually higher healing than 3 members' damage dealt on the side of Black Dragons.
We've seen Flamzito play a healer in 3 of his 4 appearances so far, and consistently he is healing for less than his opponents. But I don't think he's a bad player, right? I think he's doing stuff right. He's just focusing on a different aspect of Maldamba. He's looking for the stuns, and he found some great ones that game. He's looking for the Dread Serpent, and he found some great ones that game. So he's being more aggressive, and his team just... I don't think they need to rely on the healing. I think that's just not what they're focused on. Granted, I do want to see what a full focused healer would do for this Black Dragons lineup. I mean, maybe Skullist would just be able to carry even harder.
So here's how it feels to me. You're playing the reload stun Maldamba. You can capitalize, but if you're playing that into a composition where you who are you going to pull here? You're going to pull Grover, who can vine away.
I actually think Ruckus is a good target, right? You pull him off the objective. He can't use Repulsor Field. He's immobile. If you stun him, he's going to have a hard time responding to it. Sure, he's got advance to move a little bit. And then with the Eevee, right, if she does have Wrecker, let's say someone else has Cauterize, the way Wrecker works is if you hit a shield and you do more damage than the shield has, the Wrecker damage is what goes in the shield, and your normal damage overflows into their health bar, which is very important for a character like Eevee that does so much damage.
They have, so much burst potential coming out of those AoE shots, especially when confirmed on a direct impact. So there is potential. I feel like Black Dragons had the potential to play around that. However, that's enough of the stats for the time being. We won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and take